Ladies and gentlemen, with a distinguished gentleman here, he's going to add to the history of the Caribbean soccer here in Toronto. In checking him, it's a gentleman I see around, as we call it in the Caribbean. He normally bat in his crease. He doesn't say much and stuff, but he has a wealth of information and knowledge. So without further ado, I'd ask you to introduce yourself and tell the public where you came from and how you get involved in this sport, where you came from.
Okay, my name is Derrick Melvin. I'm Jamaican, came to Toronto in 1967 from New York. I spent 4 years there. I've always been interested in soccer, so when I got to Toronto, I got right involved. I started watching West Indies United because I knew quite a few of the players that was there. Now, I was not a player myself, but I was a fan. I could say that I was a fervent fan. I played just soccer with my buddies, and then for many years. And then I was called.
I just want to intercept there because I want to have a little, I want the public to get a little idea what West Indies formation was like when you were around West Indies. What was happening? Did you go around West Indies? How soon you went around West Indies?
With West Indies, because I've always been in love with soccer. And my friend, Mr. Patrick Smith, known to everybody as Schedron. As a matter of fact, it was Patrick who invited me to come to Toronto. And I stayed with him and his wife, Norma. So I got right involved with United. I watched from about 1968.
I want to ask you, in 68, was West Indies in competition when you and Schedron went around West Indies? Were they playing in competition? And if so, what was the competition West Indies was playing in? Because now you're talking about 67, 68.
Right. Well, they were in the Toronto and District League. The league was called Toronto and District League.
You remember what
they were in? I think that if I remember correctly, there were one team. There are two teams, one in Division 1 and one in the reserve division.
Okay. All right. And any of the players that were around at that time, because you're helping now with the whole foundation now. So if you can call a couple of, well, obviously Schedron is around. Was Schedron playing?
Yeah, he was playing. And Junior Parker, for example. Let me see, Junior Parker. Dadas, Dunkley. That's what Dunkley was played. A player coach. Junior had a brother, Pancho.
Yes.
Played a bit. Right?
Yes.
And there was, well, Sammy came later. And well, Sammy's name is Derrick Samuels. And PC, Louis Robinson, came later. Then he had Arthur Kerr, we knew him as Q. He came a little later too. Then that's as far as I remember.
Was Mitch there? Was Mitch there? Mitch?
Not yet. Mitch came in 73 when West Indies won the Ontario Championship.
So who was
Mitch? Was the goal? Eh?
Who was the keeper? Mitch?
Pele. We called him Pele. His name was Carl Hans. Carl Hans. Right. He was the goalkeeper, and then Mitch took over.
Well, seeing that you've given us this real foundational part of the information here, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you now. So did you join the club officially, or you're still supporting? And if you joined officially, did you see the transition between the Granville and the Tom Sosa?
Yeah, I didn't really join the club as such, but I was at all the functions that the club had. I saw all the transitions. I saw when, Neville Granville was involved. And then after Neville left, Tom Sosa took over. And then Western United went all the way under Tom. Tom was a hell of a good administrator and organizer.
Okay, so now you're going, you saw the Ontario Cup, or seeing that you're a supporter now, you can give a different vision. How was that? You followed them all the way in that development to winning that Ontario Cup. How was that?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that team is the best Caribbean team I've seen up to date. They had excellent communication. The players were potentially very good, but the communication between the players was excellent. Players like Neville Bell, who we call Bertis, Chubby Coke, right? Carl Martin, Earl Foe, and his brother, Keith, right? Keith Foe, right? You had Donald Pierce, Clarence Prendez, Kuma. I'm not Kuma. What's his name again? Well, Q was on the team at outside left, and outside right was the name. The man's picture is right in front of me, but the name I'm missing.
Okay,
don't remember the name at the moment.
That's good enough. That's good enough. So you experienced the formation at Iere because you developed a rivalry too.
Yes. There was a good rivalry between Iere and West Indies. The games were well fought, but in a friendly manner. You know, it was good to see that after the games, the players exchanged handshakes.
Yeah.
Exceptional people were like Mangi, the two center halves, Ronald and I forget the other one's name.
Victor, tall one. Tall one, Victor.
Victor, right? That's right, Victor. You know, yeah, those are the Neville Bell Bertis joined Iere, and I watched them play, and it was a joy to see how Bertis and the other guys got along great. I stood at the sideline and I had a smile, right? And then I can't leave out Midget. We call him, you know, Alwyn. Alwyn, who affectionately we know him as Midget, and joined. And So the whole soccer scene at that time was a good one. You know, I left a lot of things that I had to do. And when these games were being played, I was there.
So
I was there.
we're moving forward now. You end up, after watching all these things, being a big executive, president and stuff. How did you start putting your fingerprint or your signature to the game in terms of how that Mello League evolved and how you got involved?
Well, I played a lot of soccer among my friends. We played at Antrim. Antrim is a field that is just south of the 401 of Kennedy there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in about 1990 or 91, early 91, Mike Lim from Mello Music called me and told me that they were planning to start a league, a Masters League for guys 35 and over. And if I would like to enter a team.
That's Mello Music record store, right?
Right, Mike, yeah, owner Mike Lim, right? So I said yes. So we started that league. We assembled a meeting and we decided, okay, we'd start the league then. And we elected Mr. Don, the late Don Parker, as the president of the league. The league started in 1991 with 5 teams. Caribbean Stars, Roots, Mellow Strikers, Barry Ballers, and Antrim Masters. That was the first year. The second year, West Indies United joined the league. So we were up to 6 teams. As the league progressed, Mr. Parker, he served as president for about, about 3-4 years. Then I was elected president of the league, which I served for 8 years.
Elected or appointed? Was there a meeting?
Well, what happened there was that we had a meeting, as usual, of the managers, and the guys just turned to me and said, listen, Mr. Parker has resigned the presidency, and we would want you to take over, which I did.
And before, just for the public consumption, Mr. Parker resigning, did he have other things to do, or it was getting a bit too much for him, or was there pressing problems, or he just, you know, or they just thought you were better for the job?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he thought I was better for the job. He just figured that he had maybe other personal things to take care of, right? And yeah, so because he was always at the games, always there on a Sunday, you know, he just did not abandon the league, right? So everything went off smoothly, you know.
So were you the president? Were you president on Winston Churchill or at Stephen Leacock? Which or both? Were you the president and then moved to Leacock?
Yeah, both places. I was president at both places. Also, prior to the president, I played in the league for a couple of seasons, and what happened there, I was gaining a lot of weight and wasn't contributing as I would like to the team, which was Antrim Masters. So I just stepped off and I coached for a while. I might add, I don't want to pat my shoulder, but 1 year I coached the Antrim Masters team and we won the league without losing a game.
Whoa, okay, big up for the coach. I would like to hear from your players. I would like to hear how the players analyze it, how much the credit they get the coach. Because you know the coach is the manager at that level, coach is manager.
Right. So, well, they seem to, I didn't get too much problems with them, so I guess they were satisfied with my my coaching.
Yeah. So you were president and coaching too, and that wasn't a problem. And that's what I try to tell people. You were president and you were part of Antrim.
Yes. I was a president. No, I after I stopped coaching the Antrim team, I became president.
All right. Just want to make sure we clear the records on that. Yeah. All right. So so you were always distinguished at the sign. So I always thought you could have been the president. The confusion with you, knowing you over the years, is they call you Mello. And my friend Mikey Lim, I knew him from the record store that was Mello Music. So when I hear they address you by the field, I would take a little look at you and want to know like what's really going on here. So you want to clarify that for the public, for the confusing people like me who had Mikey Lim as Mello. The league has seen that he was the origin, one of the founders as the Mello League. And then you in this league now, a distinguished figure, prominent figure, carrying this Mello too. How did that happen and how do we distinguish this whole thing?
Well, to be quite honest, I'm the first Mello. I'm the original Mello. I've been called Mello since I was in elementary school. And it has carried through high school and forever.
Is that Mello come from a cool guy or?
I guess, yeah, well, I was asked in elementary school, you know, by a fellow student. He said, what's your name? And I said, Derrick Melvin. And he said, oh, as of today, your nickname is Mello. So that's how I got the name.
So you think it could have come from Melvin?
Sorry?
You think it came from the Melvin then?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And my three brothers were also called Mello all the way down, you know.
Were they in the school too, or were they in the school, same school?
The other three, my three brothers, we went to the same elementary school, but we went to different high schools.
So they all got it from elementary school into high school, the different high school then?
Right. And, you know, the neighborhood.
I was just going to ask that because the neighborhood could do that too.
So now, what happened when we formed the league? We had assembled down at Michael Lim's business place, which is called Mello Music. So they decided, well, listen, we have to give the league a name. So we all decided to call it Mello Masters League, right? Because when I became president, I remember there was an incident on the field and the player came off the field. And I went over to him and I said to him, listen, the league's name is Mello, right? My nickname is Mello. It is not my league. It's our league. I just happen to be has the same nickname as the league. And quite a few of the guys, I had to explain that too, because they figure, well, being president and by the name Mello, they thought it was my league.
Yeah, because that was also flipping through my mind, you know, because although I knew Mikey Lim, you're so distinguished, you're always there at the side of the field, you don't say much, which is normally administration, normally management, right, the way you behave. So, you know, and you don't say much, so it had me thinking.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess it had many people thinking.
So were you the president from Winston Churchill to League Cup? How long were you the president? Is it 2 years, 3 years?
No, 8 years. We started the presidency when we went to Leacock. Leacock. Right.
Okay. So you were the president so you weren't the president at Winston Churchill?
No, I was still coaching the Antrim Masters team.
So how you managed to give up the presidency?
Well, I figured, well, I'd served 8 years, man, and it was time for somebody else to take up the reins. And although Barry said to me, you know, he said, no, Mello, you're president for life. I said, no, Barry, I'll still be assisting in whatever way possible, you know. Mm-hmm. But so Barry, although I don't think he took up the reign as president.
Oh, you saw the league evolve. I mean, the league after you, it was who? Barry?
Well, as such. But really, Barry was really the president after, right? He may not have said, well, I'm a president, but Barry did everything. Everything, literally everything. He was the secretary, he was the treasurer, and just did a super job.
Okay,
super job.
So Barry's full name?
Barry McCormack.
Okay.
Barry McCormack.
Really, so, and what were you doing after that? Like, were you supporting them, or you still had a team, or?
Well, when I'm with Antrim Masters, I was also affiliated with Magic from 1980. Patrick Smith Skedron was the coach, and I was the manager. So what was happening was, as the Antrim Masters, the original players got older, we'd recruit from Magic. As their players got older. So at one stage, it reached a stage where there were more original Magic players than Antrim players. So the name changed to Antrim Magic, the league.
Okay.
Until finally, the Antrim name disappeared, and it was just Magic.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now you hear the whole evolution of Magic. So Magic, when Magic, you say Skedron was he the first coach of Magic?
Yes. This was back in 1980.
Okay, all right. So with him having the 90, that's 1980.
Right.
Okay, so now that makes sense. If that was a Magic in 1980, Antrim, which was the old guys you said was practicing down by the 401 and Kennedy. So
Right.
by the time 91, 10 years later, you start looking for guys coming out of that fringe to support Antrim. I got you.
Right, right.
I got you. Now, within that time, what happened with your affiliation with West Indies? And so you're still doing the West Indies, the Antrim, the Magic?
Well, I mean, to be quite frank with you, West Indies did for me what no other team has done. The thrills I got, the camaraderie of the players. As a matter of fact, even today, you'll see at the field, at our soccer field, I still get down to the West Indies camp because people like Bugs, Earl Nelson, is still around, and I know quite a few of the players. So Natalie,
Yeah.
you know, as you know, Natalie's late father, Donahue, was always a member of West Indies. So I have this soft touch, if you can call it so, for Magic, for West Indies rather, you know. Still affiliated with Magic, yes. You know, players, I mean, you know, you have men like Jimmy Lawson. Well, Jimmy is the only one. And then there's Orville Grant. As I mentioned, I won't call his nickname because it's not complimentary. So, and Kiddo, Harvey, you know, and what you may not know, people like you know, I've always had a lot of respect. You know, I'm a person who observes people, and, you know, and I mean not say much to the person, but I know what I know.
Yeah, and same for me to you, because as I said, you never really say much. All these names are here and stuff. I just check you. I took pictures of you and stuff. But the respect was always there because you always kept yourself a certain way. You don't reveal too much, you know, you don't say too much. And but we got to keep riding this tide with this soccer/football here and see what we could come up with. So seeing that we all in this big happy family, is glad to hear. I like how you put it with the West Indies. It's nice to get to know you at this stage, Mr. Melvin, and we'll bring the people up to date with this Melvin later on. But so where are you now? Where are you now? Are you with any team? I see you. The last time I took a picture of you before the COVID with Arthur Q and it was Bobby Coombs and Bugs. What are you just watching the games now at Thompson Park, or what's your function there? Just watching? I see you have your chair.
My function is that I'm a member of the disciplinary committee. It's three of us, myself, Bugs Earl Nelson, and Orville Grant. So we make up the disciplinary committee.
How long you been on that?
About 3 years.
Okay.
3 seasons, yeah, about 3 seasons.
Looking at it and covering it, I think the last 3 seasons, or a little more, because I think I've been down there for 2017, on and off. It looked based on the level of competition that they wanting to win overshadows the little camaraderie and the atmosphere and everything else. How you are the disciplinary committee, what type of feedback you get, how you guys dealing with it? Because
we don't have much problems, you know. We don't have much problem because the referees keep these guys in check, and you know we have some stringent rules. You get a yellow card, you have to pay a fine as a player. If you get 2 yellow cards, that's a red card. The fine goes up, right? If you do anything outside of the league, meaning your behavior is beyond a red card, then you have to come and face the disciplinary committee. We don't have too many problems, really.
Yeah, because you guys are more elders, and I can see it's a younger version. I know that version that they came into that requirement, the age requirement. So they're fairly new into the age requirement. So once you guys handle yourself the way you should with the rules, I don't think they want to see you guys too much.
No. And you know, the guys who reach the stage where they have to come and see us, you can see where they regretted what they did, right? Yeah. And although we have some rules and we have to apply them to them, but I, for one, really, sometimes I may be a little more lenient, you know, more lenient, but still, the rules, we have to make no exception to the rules.
Yeah.
But deep down, I am, you know, I could see where, you know, this player really.
If they have remorse, if they're remorseful.
Yeah, remorse here.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But
all
in all, we have I think, especially now with the committee that we have, president, vice president, secretary, and all that, they're doing an excellent job. All of them.
And that's a change. That's a change from the administrator doing everything, whether it be go back from Nadia to Barry, you know.
Yeah.
Well, understand, we don't want to rehash. I know you guys went through some little incidents and stuff, so we won't rehash that in the interviews. But the 2 other areas I want to cover, one of the interesting one I'll leave. So based on you being on the committee and stuff, where are you guys now? Are you guys gonna be playing? You start back playing, and that's the Caribbean Masters, ladies and gentlemen. We can't indicate the name, but the Caribbean Masters I'm asking about.
Right. I was glad that for the name change to the Caribbean Masters, because it represents, the name represents the Caribbean. I am proud to say that the league is going good. You know, I mean, I look forward to coming on a Sunday. As a matter of fact, every Sunday.
Yeah, I can see that by the position you guys hold and where the chairs located and where the trees are located. I can see that. In the beginning of these interviews, I was asking how people making out with the COVID. Now I have to ask, did you get your vaccination?
Yeah, I did.
One or you got the 2 or you just got one?
Both. I got both.
Good. Well, you just won the race there now, because I think it's the first person that I had on that had both. You know,
I got both.
now for a softer part of this whole thing. Knowing you as Mello all these times, you explained to the public about this Mello from elementary school and all this. And ladies and gentlemen, in the preamp a few days back, we went as deep as to, I saw his name, and his surname is Melvin, right? And as he said, he got the Mello probably from the Melvin when this person in school said he's going to start calling him Mello. But now, I mentioned Harold Melvin in I thought was in jest or in joke. And then this gentleman started bringing up these information. So I want to ask you now, what are you telling me that this Melvin and Harold Melvin have some association, some link?
Well, I have a cousin that was born in England, and his mom is my aunt. And he came to visit Toronto a few years ago. And I hadn't seen this man for over 40 years. And we sat down together, and you wouldn't believe that we hadn't seen each other for such a long time. And I found out now that he is an historian. He has the history about the family. And I wasn't surprised because his mom was also the historian of the family. So anyway, he said to me, he said, Derrick, do you know, have you ever heard of the group Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes? I said, yes. I said, yes, I saw them quite a few times here in Toronto. So he said, listen, Harold Melvin is our cousin. I said, what? He said, yes. He said, you and I share the same grandfather. Our grandfather is Harold's father's brother. So it's our granduncle's son, Harold. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, when I heard this, Harold didn't return to Toronto to perform. And then, as you know, he died a few years ago. So I never really got a chance to really speak to him about it. But I know he has Jamaican roots, that's for sure. Right? So that's the story on Harold Melvin and the Blue Note.
And we're going to end on the Blue Note. We're going to end because, and this is what I want to say based on ending on this Blue Note, is that doing history to me is important, and everybody seemed to reinforce that since we started this project, and in all the project, especially with our community, the Black community. And these are the stories that is out there waiting just to be uncovered if we just pass the information along and stuff. And luckily you are the historian or two historians in your family. And you also mentioned the Melvin, how the Melvin came. It used to be Melville instead of Melvin.
Right. Yeah, I was told, funny enough, I have a nephew who is a professor in Chicago. So he came to visit his mom, my sister, in New York a couple of years ago at Christmas. And he started to get into the family tree business. Mm-hmm. And he found out that the original name last name was Melville. But my great-grandfather decided that he doesn't want no slave name. So that's why he took out the Ville part, and the name became Melvin.
You see? And then the whole generation after they go Melvin and probably never found out that it was supposed to be Melville. So these things are important because power to him, if he didn't want the slave name or whatever, everybody have their choices. You know, and the world is today. So Mello, back to Mello. finishing with the blue note. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share this time with you, to share the information. So I want to thank you again for giving me this time today, man.
Well, it has been my pleasure. And it's, I'm glad that I have had the opportunity to speak with you. Having known you for so long, and we haven't really, right? And to see that we have a lot that we can talk about with Halloween. Right? So it has been my pleasure. It has been my pleasure.
All right. Yeah. So stay safe, and we'll talk again. No, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah.